Welcome back, everybody, to episode 24 of Date Night China. Nathan is still gone, but don't worry. I'm joined by two fantastic guests from China and from Poland. So today we're going to be meeting Nicole and Andre, who are an international couple who went through long distance to a happy marriage and now live in different countries again. On their YouTube channel, Sharing is Caring, they share their stories, vlogs, and tips for couples who are in long-distance relationships, mixed couples, and anyone who wants to have a happy relationship. So this week, they're joining us, Andre from Dalian and Nicole from Poland, to chat about how they met, their intercultural relationship, and how they overcome the challenges of being long distance. So thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, so I'm excited to hear a little bit about you guys. Can you introduce a little bit more about yourselves one by one? Let's start with you, Andre. Tell me where you're from, how long have you been in China, what do you do here in China, and just a little bit about you.
Well, I'm 31 years old, in China already more than 6 years. I've been doing action and acting performing through all of this time. Actually, I came to China to become an actor and then discover some action movies, and that I really deeply love it. Then I became a stunt performer in Universal Studio, and right now I'm working and doing stunts in another show for the Mirage Entertainment Company in Dalian.
Awesome. That's originally how I met you, actually. I have another friend at Universal, and she's like, oh, Andre works at Universal Studios. Very cool. You're a stunt performer there. And you have really cool action videos as well on your Instagram, which is very exciting.
Thank you, Rachel.
And then Nicole, tell us about yourself. Where are you right now? And which city are you from? And what do you do?
So hi everyone, this is Nicole speaking. So once again, appreciate you having me in this podcast. So currently I'm based in Warsaw, Poland. Previously, I actually worked in Australia, UK, Ukraine for many years already. So right now in charge of CE and Nordics marketing. I'm original from China, Guangzhou, and I met Andre in Beijing in short amount of time, and actually we are kind of long distance again. So yeah.
I'm really excited to chat with you guys about that. I think you guys have done long distance for many times, for months and months and on end. And it will be really cool to hear how you kind of have navigated that. But first, how did you meet? I think you guys met on Tinder, right?
That's correct. We met on Tinder. To be honest, it's quite funny story. From the very beginning, Nicole has a working trip to Beijing. She's not actually supposed to work in Beijing. She just temporarily been here. And I just finished one big project, and I've been preparing for the contract in Universal Studio. So we didn't expect anything from the very beginning. We just met, and somehow that's how it started.
So when you first met on Tinder, like who made the first move? Like, hey, let's just see where this goes.
I think it's quite obvious who made the first move.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really remember.
Was it you, Andre?
I don't really remember.
Did you use a pickup line?
I think so.
Or were you just like, hey, I'm a stunts man. Check out my videos.
I think it was about something dancing and tattoo. I remember on her profile, I saw that she is a bachata and salsa dancer, and she got a really cool badass tattoo on her whole back. That's really impressed me. I was like, wow, this girl is really cool. Yeah, and by this, I think it was not even a lot of messages. We just talked pretty shortly. Maybe it was like 6, 7 messages, like, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, we
let's meet, let's get a drink.
I was like, because when I was in Beijing, I still work for Europe. So I kind of need to base on Europe time. So I work in the office until pretty late, like 1, 2 a.m. And he was asking me, I remember that when we met was almost Chinese New Year. And then he was like, hey, do you want to get a drink or something? I said like, nah, I finished work pretty late. And then he was like, yeah, that's perfect time for drink. Get a drink.
You finish at the midnight, we'll meet
Like,
at midnight and have a drink.
You know, like Rachel, as a girl, when we're saying like, oh, we will finish pretty late, that means, well, rain check, you know. But he was like, yeah, that's perfect timing. Like,
he didn't get that hint, but he pushed for it.
He get that. He just like, oh, I respect that. It's a kind of good attitude to you know, come for the girls if he really want to meet her. So yeah, I give him the credit. But yeah, that's how we met. I think it's also the day when I finished work. Yeah, we then we have a dinner or something.
Okay. And you were about to leave for Europe, right? I think that's what you said, is you were about to actually be leaving the country. So when you guys first matched and started like hanging out, was it like, okay, we have like an end date, or maybe, you know, let's have fun while I'm still in Beijing, but I'm leaving the country?
Yeah, the time when I was in Beijing, actually I'm waiting for my visa. So that was the main point why I show up in Beijing. So quite obviously at the beginning, I know I'm leaving. That's why at the beginning, even when we meeting each other, like I said, like we didn't expect anything from each other, any seriously. And then we also quite honest to each other at the beginning. Like he knew I was leaving. Oh no, he was making a mistake. He thought I just came back from Ukraine.
That's so
right. Then we have some common interest. Then he figured out, like, I guess a few days after, he said like, oh no, she's leaving. She's going to Ukraine. Yeah, but too. But yeah, anyway, we kind of know at the very beginning, so we didn't, especially from me, I think I kind of highlighted many times I don't want to get into serious because I think it's kind of irresponsible to each other. Not even mentioned in my previous relationship, it might not go through successfully for a long distance. Then I was like, I don't want to, you know, promise you anything. And it was cool to hang out a few days before I leave, but, you know, I can't promise anything. And he was like, cool, we'll kind of, you know, try. But yeah, what he did after it, it kind of really, he kept his word. I think it's kind of the main long distance relationship successful. I will give him like 80% of the credit to Andre. Kind of he make this
no happen. Don't say it. It's 50-50, babe. It's always been 50-50. Yeah, as Nico said, no one expect anything, but somehow we just started and we realized like, yeah, we feel really great with each other no matter what we are doing. And we know about this deadline that Nico is supposed to go to Ukraine, and I'm supposed to go even in Beijing, but a little bit out of Beijing to Universal, and basically I'll be based there and having my contract. So there was no way to continue somehow. But at one point, right before that, we just decided, you know what, let's just get it a try. There's no expectations. Doesn't matter if it works, then it's great. If it doesn't work, we're adults and we can handle it. So we just decided, let's see.
I think that's great. You kind of were like, yeah, let's go for it, but let's have no expectations. Let's see how things are going to go. And was this during COVID? What year was this?
That was 2021. We met 10 of February. Yeah.
Okay.
10 of February.
Okay, so it's 2021. That's nice. And so once you left to go to Ukraine, Nicole, what kind of happened? Did you see that there was like growing communication? Were you keeping up with each other more than you expected to in the beginning?
I would say, well, because I never been in Ukraine before, and not even mention I don't speak any Russian and Ukrainian. So it might be hard for me at the beginning when I settle down in there. So yeah, Andre helped me a lot as a friend back then. And the thing is, we keep video call or calling every single day. Since every single day, like not even one day missing. I would say our talk are like up to 2, 3, 4 hours a day. So it's pretty crazy. Like I have no idea how come we have that much to talk about. Like, can you imagine like 2, 3, 4 hours per day? And might be more than one phone calls. Yeah, and every single day there's no gap. So it's quite impressive in the whole, more than a whole year. I'm based in Ukraine more than a year, almost a year and a half. And there was no break. So yeah, it's just like you can see, even though we kind of there are a lot of people say like, oh, how come you know each other for that short amount of time and you're so certain he's the right one? And I said, well, if you calculate how much actually we communicate or we talk through, maybe actually a more deeper understanding of each other, more than a couple who know each other for 5 years if you talk that much. So yeah, that's something. Deep communication actually gives us the faith and the understanding and just the very firm foundation of our relationship, I'd say. So like only apart from we are not able to see each other physically, but I think mentally it's kind of firm and then certain to each other. Yeah.
And how is it for you, Andre? Yeah.
I would say the distance somehow just brought us closer to each other. We spent together, just think about this, we spent together 17 days physically before Nico left. And then actually our feeling really started to grow already after she left. So I was doing my job every time we had a call. And because of time difference, we'll make it up at my early morning time and before work at your late nights time. So we'll still keep doing it all this time. And it was only our time when we talk to each other, when we been making plans, when we just discuss everything from the very beginning, very openly. And I think actually that's the bigger thing which brought us together and why this relationship really works well.
Yeah. So coming from two different backgrounds, from China and outside China, like where did you ever have any kind of cultural misunderstandings in these early stages of talking to each other, chatting over the phone? Was there ever any kind of like funny moments or misunderstandings, or was it pretty like fluid in the way that you communicated in the style and everything?
Well, I would say it was a pretty good understanding from the very beginning. The funniest thing is, even we are going somewhere for a lunch or dinner, I can totally trust Nico order anything from the menu. And she knows some exceptions that she can order too spicy for me, but otherwise, every time 10 of 10, she's getting what I really like and she's getting the same for herself. So somehow, even in those things like about interest, about going somewhere, about meeting friends, everything was so match. And yeah, we didn't have any misunderstanding or some some problem in communication.
Yeah, funny thing is, so first at the early beginning, because my working language is English, I was abroad for many years already, so there's no problem for our like language wise understand each other. And also he based in China. Actually, in past 10 years, he probably like stay in China more than me, because I was away from mainland China since I was like 14, 15. So as you see, like I'm actually more like currently more Western now, and he's more Chinese than me now.
Like, more Chinese.
He's more Chinese than me in many understanding, in the diet, in the language. He speak more Chinese than me with my family, and in our chat. So yeah, well, definitely I start learning a little bit Russian, like slowly, but still like I would say 95% of our communication language is English, and there's no actually like misunderstanding or anything. From the habit wise, as Andre mentioned, like we're kind of similar page, like kind of like something quite similar, food, similarity, what else? Hobby, only one different. He likes to go to gym and I don't. Well, I like dancing, that's another thing. But apart from that, I think we are quite similar type of people, I would say. Yeah. So
That's
it's funny.
great. Yeah.
Like there's no, deal breaker, like or some misunderstanding or big argument. Actually, we didn't have big argument. That's interesting.
Ooh.
Or not,
Yeah.
or not yet.
Let's keep it this way.
No, it's great. I mean, it sounds like you have such like a deep appreciation and experience in other cultures and in each other's culture. And I think that really is such a beautiful thing that also helps having that connection with each other. When did you guys officially start dating then? Was it while you were still in Ukraine?
Well,
Yeah.
officially start dating. I would say actually, I already start to really feel like we are dating from, it was the Valentine's Day. So we met at 10th of February. It was Chinese New Year. And then it was Valentine's Day after 4 days. So in this day, we just spent
After 4 days
time
that
in
you
shopping
met?
mall. Yeah. And at the fourth day, we made handmade rings for each other. And Nico puts the sign inside that ring, meant to be. And that was, I would not afraid to say, the biggest present I ever got. Really, that ring. And it really gave me the space, and it really gave me understanding that she's the one.
I would say, okay, be honest. Back then, he might be the one into it first. Just he knew that it's not the first time we talked. And I remember I told him that like, well, later on, I know I'm leaving, and then later on, if you meet a girl more seriously, please put off this ring to respect that girl. So but yeah, like I think back then it's kind of cute, smooth. We kind of make a gift to each other. It's kind of cute. But back then I didn't know that means that much to him actually. But for me, I do remember I even give you some probation period.
There was something, but I never actually pushed for that as well. I just feel quite good to just openly and genuinely interested about what are you doing, what are your plans, and how you're really feeling. And I think the bigger thing in our long distance as well, that we accept ourselves as we are. So we didn't push for anything. We didn't put some restrictions. We didn't try, to get some benefits out of it. We just give it a try and accept us as we are from the very beginning.
Yeah, I would say that the rhythm of our relationships kind of smoothly, and he never feels some pressure or pushing from him. Even though I always like to say I would like to take times because I wasn't certain until many things. Once I start something serious, I would really want to into it. But back then, if I wasn't certain, I wouldn't promise him anything. So, but he's pretty patient, I would say. Even he's really into it. When my uncertainty, it doesn't affect his love to me. So that's something I really appreciate about it.
Yeah, that's really great to have the patience and then that knowing that somebody's got that trust there and that they're like, okay, take your time, take your space. And that's really nice on the other hand to be hearing that. Were there any challenges then when you were kind of in that long distance space in the beginning for about a year, right? That Nicole was in Ukraine. Was there any kind of challenges and like how did you kind of work through that? I know you said that you had long phone calls and video calls. Were there any special other things that you tried to make time for each other or any challenges you faced during that?
Yeah, I would say during those 14 months, it was 1 year and 2 months. From the very beginning, it was, first of all, pretty difficult to wake up every morning at 4:30. So sometimes we've been switching time for a bit later.
You'd wake up at 4:30 every day for these calls?
4:30 every day.
Yeah,
yes.
he woke up. Yeah, and for me, it's midnight, yeah.
Wow.
And Nico been staying late at night, even she's supposed to go for work from the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that was, I think, one challenging thing. From our side, another was, I would say it's lack of opportunity to expand and show our love to each other. I'll give an example. For example, when I'm in the relationship, I feel really romantic, so all the time I want to prepare something, and I just simply can't buy her flowers, for example, and bring it. So I've been still getting through the friends and ordering through the delivery, but it wasn't the same. But yeah, then we started to learn how to treat each other and how to support each other on a long distance.
Yeah. I mean, like for me, it's easier because, Taobao can get everything. And I have many friends or family in China. So when I want to preparing some surprise for my husband, like it's easy for me. But for him, well, in Ukraine was a bit better because at least the system and everything is fine for him. But right now, when I was in Warsaw, it's kind of challenge for him. He's like, damn, those apps doesn't work.
He doesn't know how to send you flowers and food.
Close contact.
Ordering flowers. And where should I get it? Yeah.
That's sweet though. So you guys send each other stuff when you can.
Yeah. Sometimes literally I'm realizing that I'm just going to work and everything from the top, even those headphones, even this watch, this chain, even the shirt which I'm wearing right now, is from my wifey. It's from Nico. So she bought me that much stuff, and she really been thinking about this, that I will really use that, like those headphones. And I was so excited about this, but not just because of presents, but because of her actions. And another thing, we actually learned to record videos during the day for each other. For example, how we unpacking our packages, and also about some interesting moments and about our feelings. If we just got some idea, what do we want to share with each other? But I know Nico is sleeping right now, so I just put the camera on the side and start recording something, talk out loud.
And he records some like playing guitar and sing a song. He record that. So when I woke up, actually there is a video lying on my WeChat. Actually, he's like saying some love words and like love songs. And it was pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, because the time difference, some of the time, especially if we, when my schedule is full and when his schedule is full, sometimes our talk, might be not as much as previously, but we kind of trying to record something to explain our feeling and hope each other are not feeling neglected or like feeling left behind or something. So I think that in that action is kind of mature in the relationship, like how we actually try our effort to make each other understanding we do care about you. I do care about you and hope you don't feel disappointed because this and that. And then definitely we'll try some of the action to make it up. So I think Andrew is right. It's more about like what we do, and the other one we feel the love, feel the care.
Yeah, I think that's really sweet. I know like many couples have had difficulties, especially during COVID time, being long distance, being separated by jobs and countries. And it's really wonderful that you found these ways that you can still connect, even if you're not physically together, but you can do a lot of things, especially with technology now, that you can find little ways to make each other's day and to kind of be present in a way that you can. So after you came back from Ukraine for a year, or more than a year, what was it like being reunited again? And how did that lead to the proposal?
You tell first, baby. Go for it.
Okay. So when how I actually escaped from Ukraine, I think everybody knows. In this episode, we don't want to get into the detail what I suffered before. But anyway, I got a chance to back to China to renew my working visa in Poland, and I got that new notice like in short amount of time. So, as we are kind of small YouTuber, I kind of want to do the same trick, like surprise your boyfriend or husband. So I'm recording something when I was in like WhatsApp airport, and I say, hey, this is time I'm going back, and he has no idea. And one day I'm gonna pop up and say, hi, I'm here. Okay, I record everything. Then I back to China, fucking back then, they still have long quarantine time. And I was like, the sign, it's everywhere in my hotel. And I was like, damn, because you remember we video call every day. And then one day he's like, why is something different? Obviously he can tell because he's familiar with my apartment and everything. He's like, where are you now? And damn, so like even not until 24 hours, he figured out. And then, of course, he's super happy about it, but it just shows like how he know about me. And there's even no trick to trick him off to preparing that type of surprise. So after the long quarantine, you know what? It's actually for me a little bit strange feeling. So even though we talk that much, but don't forget that we only spend 17 days with each other in the real life. So when he wait for me in, I think, Tianjin airport, right? Yeah. I gave him a hug. Well, if you can go back to check our video on our channel. For me, it's a little bit kind of keep a little bit distance and hesitate, I have to say. And then that's kind of make him feel like, she changed her mind or something. It take me, I would say, a few hours or even a day to realize, this is the man I talk to every day. And
there must be like a little disconnect at first because you're like, I talked to this person on the phone, long video calls, but you haven't physically been next to each other for so long. So it must be like a lot of thoughts in your head, like, do we hug? When do we meet? How is this feeling? This person I haven't seen in so long. Was it like that for you too, Andre?
Yeah, it feels a little bit different. I definitely would admit it. And I understood it from the very beginning that Nico wants a little bit space, and need a little bit time. But as we already been talking, yes, I'm quite patient, so I can wait, and I was totally okay with it. I gave her all the space and time she needs. I mean, not much space because like we went together, and first we lived in the hotel, then we went straight to my apartment, and just keep standing there in Tianjin. It was a quite happy time. Yeah.
Did the weirdness eventually go away? Or that feeling of weirdness, and then it was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is the person.
I think for me, it's gone pretty quick. I think for the next day, I was already super excited and happy. That's my baby is close to me, and we can spend time and do everything what we had in plan. We had our bucket list and what we're gonna do and what we want to do when we will meet. And we actually made every single point except picnic, I guess. Yeah, there was no opportunity, and we just canceled this without thinking.
Okay, so you came back and you were reunited. And how did this lead up to the proposal? Because you guys have an epic proposal video that Andre had planned. I saw this on Instagram, and it like was so swoon worthy and such an amazing moment of using your skills as a stuntman. Let me hear more about that from you guys.
Andre, the stage is yours because you plan everything. I literally have no clue.
Thank you very much, Rachel. And that was part of one of the things which we discussed through our long distance when Nico she still was in Ukraine. So we discussed that when I will do a proposal, it's supposed to be on the camera, cash on camera. She not supposed to have a clue about this, so it's supposed to be a surprise. She's supposed to look good, have her nails done, have a beautiful dress, and basically that was basic of it.
My requirement.
On your Instagram, you were like, he did so good. My nails were done. I was dressed up. Like, that is perfect. That's how I feel as well. I think many girls, you're like, I want to feel prepared for the moment when it happens, and that I look nice, and that I'm not just like caught coming out of the gym or something. So well done for you, Andre.
Girls, we always have some, we always have the fantasy of our engagement, proposal and wedding. So we have a free talk about this many times, and I have kind of give him a hint, like, I need to have my makeups on, my hair need to look nice. I definitely need to dress up with high heel. That will be perfect, and make sure my nails will be done, because when you put my ring on my finger, make sure I'm show up perfectly.
Yeah, you gotta have the well done nails.
I need to have I need to, full surprise. I don't want to be fake, and I don't want to be, those fake wow or cry moment. And I don't know how he deliver this, but he take all my requirements. So yeah.
Well, I would say it was a very, very big luck. Nico came at the 5th of May, and I did the proposal as this episode actually at 24th at the same month. So we have a limited time for preparing. I mean, by my own, and my good friends helped me. And the thing is, my close friends, they live in Beijing, most of them. And even between Beijing and Tianjin, these COVID restrictions, it was quite hard to get. And somehow, just imagine this. We've been preparing for a new show. I had rehearsal every single day. Nico been living with me in my apartment. So there was no way to hide it somehow. But it just everything happened very likely. So my friends got in one day when the restriction just dropped down. They went for only one day to shoot the video and organize everything to help me with it. And at the same day, we finished earlier and the weather was good. And everything just settled so well. Yeah, and
so
just
it's perfect timing, perfect. Everything came together well for this proposal to happen. It's a beautiful video, you guys. So go check it out on their Instagram, which we'll link to and share with you guys later. And so from that moment, were you like, let's plan this wedding, or had you met Nicole's family? What were the next steps from there? Had you met them already?
The next step, we planned engagement party.
Engagement party. Yeah. So because I'm marketer, so event and all the thing actually is my daily job. So of course I have a really high standard of my own, either engagement party or my wedding. So I connect all my resources in Beijing, because we are planning that in Beijing, because all Andrew's friends and one of my close colleagues, they're based in Beijing. And then I connect the wedding planner who come to plan my engagement party. I booked the venue in Ritz-Carlton, so it's kind of fancy hotel restaurant.
Fancy.
And I know, right? We're kind of fancy couple. And we even, like the menus, each of the like main course, dessert, cocktails, everything, decoration, backgrounds, dress code, everything. We kind of plan it as a big event. And I even, we DIY our own invitation letter, invitation card, save the date. Well, like every standard you can imagine for like big launch event. All my knowledge to event planning I use in my own engagement party. And we even successfully sent out, so all like the video camera, the video guys booked, cameraman is booked, makeup artist booked, dress bought it, hair, everything set up. And then Beijing lockdown. Our friends
canceled.
Everything, like I would kind of try to hold until last minute, because we still wanted to happen before I left China again. But unfortunately, the thing is just getting worse and worse. Not only our friends are not able to get in Beijing, even us, both of us, we are not able to enter it. So after that, we kind of have to give it up. And there's no point for me host something in Tianjin or in somewhere else, because that's kind of a little bit meaningless to me. Because Beijing, back to the end, that's the city where we met. So it somehow have some meaningful to us. But apart from that, like I don't see I will have that much time and energy to do it again. So unfortunately, like why we have to give up this plan. Then because we talk so much when we have a long distance, we're saying like, well, this year, because let's say experienced a lot in 2022. And then I also feel like we kind of want some certainty from each other. So back then we say like, at least we engage in this year, and then somehow give some of the reply to either my family or his family, to sending that type of like certain signal to them, like we are stable, don't worry about us, don't trace me for marriage, Chinese culture. So yeah, and then one day, and even now, like later on, we are still not sure which country we will settle down back to the end. So for the visa convenient, and like maybe later on he would like to base in China for even longer. Then I think I start propose to that. I say like, well, if you don't mind, and also I'm open for that, we can get the certificate first. And then later on we will kind of make the big wedding. And then at the beginning, he's still a little bit hesitate, because he met my family. He met most of my family. They are super welcome him. He's like he's Chinese pretty good, so they can communicate to each other, no problem.
Does your family in Guangzhou, or does your family live in another city?
Yeah, my family in Guangzhou. So he like after Tianjin, we flew, because my visa, I need to do some documents in Guangzhou as well. So he came with me. That's another story. But back to the topic, like how we kind of certain, like he's not sure, because I haven't met his family in person. We talk online a little bit, but still, like it's kind of big thing for him as well. So I think he think about it around like a week or two, something like that, right, babe? I forgot.
Yeah,
like
I think it was around a week. The biggest thing is I promised my family, especially my granny, that she will be at my wedding day, and I was taken seriously. But then I actually realized, like, yeah, we don't know which country we will set up, and I really want to show that I'm serious and not just try and like get engaged and like, okay, we are good now for years. So I just said, yeah, let's just go for it, and then we'll have another big wedding when you baby can have all your event skills.
No, yeah, of course.
Marketing experience there.
All right. Prepare your budget, and I'm sure I will make it down.
Yeah.
That's sweet though. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's been hard for a lot of couples trying to figure out if they're from different countries, but then there's the coronavirus, then there's been all these lockdowns and crazy things with jobs. So we've talked to so many couples who've had that same issue of like, oh, we want all of our families to be there, but the difficulties of travel and visas, and then you're also trying to navigate your own work visa and life. And so we've heard from many couples who are figuring out ways to get married in China or getting married online. I mean, because I think it's just so difficult. So you guys did get married here in China, right? In Shenzhen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So May 27 is our like officially marriage day. Actually, it's a good number in Chinese meaning, like 5是 kind of mean I love my wife, so that's kind of why I picked
love my wife.
It's a good day.
It's a trick.
There was one good story behind it, and quite funny story. I was still preparing and finishing rehearsal at my show when Nico went for the document there. So our date already booked, May 27. I'm waiting my passport with a visa, and I supposed to get it at 26 at the afternoon, and my flight is right after that. And I'm coming there, and they're saying like, your visa is not ready. Sorry, like COVID situation, it's not ready. We need to wait. I told them I will not go anywhere before you will give me my passport with my visa. I'm getting married tomorrow, and I promise my wife, I promise mom of my wife, future wife, that I will be there on this day. And believe me, I need to be there. So yeah, they asked me about like, do I have some documents and bookings? So I'll just show them, yeah, I'm not just pretending here, I'm not trying to act. I really have a big event tomorrow. So I need to be tonight in Shenzhen. So please do something, but bring me my passport. Even without visa, I'm just going there. So after a couple hours, they gave it to me. The passport was still hot. Straight there, I'm going to airport. On the way, calling to mom, actually, not to Nico, but to mom, to say her first, like, everything's good. I got the passport.
Yeah, my mom was so worried about it. My mom is so worried about it. He's like, he might not able to get it. Then you have to postpone. Then you may have to back to Warsaw. Then things will not. Like it's a lot of concern from my family. I definitely feel the pressure as well, because it's still better to end. It's our big day. And but he always kind of keep his word. He's like, baby, everything will be fine. I'll manage it. Even though I don't know how, but he managed it. Yeah, it's
That's
so
amazing.
close. Definitely like a last minute.
Yeah. Did you feel pressure from your families during the process that they were like, hey, if you're going to be long distance, like, yeah, we want to see some intention. What's going to happen for your future? Do you feel like they were both sides of your families were very invested in you guys getting engaged and getting married to kind of show certainty about your future?
I would say from my family, yes and no, because I was abroad for many years, and I was single between, I think, like few years between my ex-boyfriend. I keep changing countries. That's the main thing. So it's hard. They understand it's hard for me to build up something, strong connection with someone, because I was keep changing, and then not everyone like Andrea, then that kind of like open-minded can accept this long distance situation. But still, like older generation still, from Asia still is bad, especially my age. Like it's bad. You already is supposed to get married earlier, get a kids, better China soon, like closer to your family, etc., etc. So for sure, we feel that type of pressure from time to time. After they knowing that we're seeing each other, they still have a lot of doubt, saying like, "Oh, long distance, it might not lead to the good result." I mean, I understand their concern, but it's sometimes it's hard to give them some of the faith that, oh, we're managing. So I think it's this kind of a piece of paper kind of give them the certainty we are serious. We're serious to each other, and we're planning something future as like reachable. Yeah, so I think the similar things from Andrew's family as well.
Oh yeah, all the
Granny and mom.
same. Just they expected us to go to Siberia and live there with kids, of course. Same story from different side.
Yeah. I think they're happy about us. Yeah, they're happy about it.
They're happy now,
They're
yeah.
happy.
So you guys have been married 4 months now. And then shortly after that, Nicole, you left to go to Poland. So does it feel different being long distance again now? Like you've done it before and you kind of know what to expect. And also you're married now. So is there kind of a different feeling? Or does it feel like, oh yeah, of course we've got this, like we know how to conquer this? Or is it still hard sometimes as well? Because long distance is not ideal.
I have to say first, I apologize to my husband again. I feel like I do this again to him. Like after we do something great, bye. but at the beginning, this time after marriage, and he knew that I just back to China for a short amount of time. So we do have that my preparation. No, I'm leaving. Same as the first time. But we do have a plan back then. We were planning, he finished his contract end of next month, and then he might come to Europe. We just, slowly settle down in here, things like that. So we didn't expect we would do like long distance for that long again. So we're expecting, like just a couple months. We managed like more than a year. So a couple months is not that much hard for us. But the visa situation fucked us up again. So right now, actually, it's kind of hard for us. We actually don't know when is the next time we're gonna see each other. It just hopefully he might have some, holiday that we might meet in third country, not Poland, not China, but find a third country to meet up. Or I don't know, like maybe next year I might able to have business trip back to China. I'm not quite sure. So what's the difference? I will say we talk less. I would say, okay, that record is there every day, like 2, 3, 4 hours, same time. That was happening before marriage. I think we kind of a little bit laying back. After we got something serious paper, we got that security to each other, and then we focus more on what we are doing, or maybe I'm just finding excuse because my job recently getting super busy. Sorry, baby. But yeah,
It's all right.
we didn't have that kind of like specific timing talk, but we still don't get me wrong, we still keep in touch every day, either text message, voice call, or sometimes video call. You know what is funny thing is, he even one day he get into a little bit emotion. He came to me saying like, babe, you haven't talked to me for a few days already. And I said, what are you talking about? I text you even a few hours ago and voice message to you. And he was like, that's different. We don't have video call. And I was like, damn, that's the understanding is different. You know, like how he mean by like we talk is by video call. At least you need to see my face. Even a short call is kind of meaningful to him. Then I realized, you know, like it's the need of each other, how like the way how we express our care and love is different. So after I catch that point, I find all like the even small amount of time, even just 1, 2, 3 like minutes, if I have a lunch break or something, I try to video call with him to make sure he's happy about it. And then I don't want to give him that doubt or something, or the way I think I already deliver what I can get, but you're still not satisfied. I don't want to give that hint to each other. So as long as I know he actually need that type of attention, there's no harm for me. I just didn't realize that. So it's good he spit it out. And so I was like, okay, if this is the way you much value about our time, then we can do it. But I do feel sorry we talk way less than previously, because a lot of big changing recently. But I still appreciate his honest and the way how we communicate is super open-minded, and then just speak it out if we feel something's wrong or uncomfortable or just jealous or double or angry or sad, everything. So we're super open to each other. That's something is really good. What is new? I feel like more certainty to each other. Like I said, we're able to focus what we are doing. And yeah, and then we're kind of planning something, really planning our own family, our own future. We are a team. We are not like solo like person working on what we're like, you know, making money, career path, but also family wise, which country or city is more good for our family settle down, not only for my career chance or everything, like also including his as well. So yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. And how is it for you, Andre? I love that what you just said, Nicole, like about understanding each other's communication style. I think that's a huge thing. People are going to have different levels of connection and what that means to them, and different love languages as well. And it's so cool that you have that honesty and communication to learn that about each other. And I think that's the thing, even when you go through engagement and get married and years of relationships as well, I think you still learn about each other and learn those ways that help connect better. How has it been for you, Andre? And you were going to leave at the end of October, right? And now it's a bit uncertain, like you said.
From the very beginning, the plan was to finish the contracts at the end of October and go to Europe, and finally already start to live together. Plans change, and I got into IT, started to front end, and to become a full IT developer, which is pretty weird thing for a stuntman, you know. I'm the guy who really loves movies, to get totally something unrelated. But I think the biggest change is I really feel about our future, and I'm not just thinking about what will be good for my wife or what will be good for me. I really thinking for both of us. Okay, that will benefit us. And for example, this new profession will help me to be in any other city, in any other country, and still will bring a good money if I'm a very good specialist. So I was decided like, okay, that's the next step, and I really need to get into this. Now, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to go and enter to Poland, and probably soon in any other country in Europe. So Europe is temporarily closed to me. But we are working on it. We'll see in which other country we will meet. And probably maybe at the very beginning it will be just a winter vacation, third country. and then finally we'll find a country where we will be together. So it's another challenge for us.
That's great. I love that even though you guys have had so many different obstacles or challenges just with distance and visas and countries, I think you guys sound like you have found such an amazing way to stay connected and to keep working together for your future. And you have such optimism and just like, I can just feel this love, this connection, you guys. So my last question is, what advice would you have for other couples who are intercultural, but also long distance? What advice would you share with them?
I would say you need to share everything together. Talk about everything. Let your partner know about what you truly care and what is a very important thing for you, or what the worst thing for you could be. Just speak it out loud and discuss and build plans about the future together.
I would say I might share that in our channel later on as well, some tips for international couple. So the language or the habits difference or the culture difference, all those are kind of surface. Like Andrew saying, like openly to talk to each other, and then actually feeling and digging into what's the actual needs from you and your partners, and make sure you guys are in the same page. I think that really matters. So, and also I would say, especially for long distance, lacking of the like insecure is kind of one of the big trouble couples are facing. So how do you kind of make sure you kind of, not doubting or jealous, or a lot of those emotional comes out of that, especially for girls. I would say like it's just make sure you really focus on and love what you're doing. So once you have strong confidence and then really into what you love, the shining of you, which kind of show your partners as well. And then because you're confident enough, you are the best one for him. Yeah, at least that's what I feel like. A lot of people ask me, oh, Anders, he's an actor, he's handsome, he's charming, he's far away from you. Do you have any doubt? I said, like, I don't, because I know I'm hot, I'm sassy, I'm a successful woman, I'm independent, I know what he needs, and I know what I need. I think he feels the same as well. He's successful in his career, in his Zoom. So we're super always a lot of either YouTube or episode talk about trust, how we need to trust each other. But I think deeper into the trust is like how you get that trust is kind of, you need to confident in like by yourself first. You love yourself enough. You are not, you're not like need each other to complete yourself. You are by yourself, you are completed. You just buy another couple is kind of make you even better, become a better you. So I think there's something, at least from our experience, from our marriage, we would like to share with each other. So yeah, that's my advice, our advice.
That's right.
That's great advice. So how can people find you guys on YouTube and also your Instagram channels? Can you share those?
So our YouTube channel is Sharing is Caring. So if you test Sharing is Caring on YouTube channel, you will see our photos on there. And then if you please follow us up, and then to check some of our videos as well. We already post around like 6, 7, 8 videos. I forgot. So later on, we still will come up some of, subscribe our channel. And our Instagram. So my one is Nitko Belikova. But my one is more about like my personal life, like either work or dancing, or Andre. The content for Andre is like the film. So he's more post about his career, some of the action movies, stunt show, etc. And himself, of course, handsome face. So feel free to.
About our marriage too.
Feel free to subscribe us, and then feel free to PM us as well if you would like to keep some of the content. We would like to talk in other international couples as well. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for joining tonight, Andre and Nicole. And yeah, check out their YouTube channel and their Instagrams, and feel free to reach out to them like they mentioned. And thanks for listening to this week's episode of Date Night China. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.